magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Success is your destiny. Yes. Love, wisdom, power. Remember, yes, always who you are. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, yes, power. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say yes, to yourself. Yes, I am. Protected. Yes, I.
Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Welcome home, family, and join us for the fun. Colorful guests, people everywhere under the sun. Interesting conversations. Prayers first has begun. Invocation, manifestation, conversation, then will come. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramid. Let's start drinking some water, juice or tea. King Killer recommended for you and me. Guayusa mixed together, maple syrup or honey. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, crystals, pyramid. Learn from the healers, the artists, the seers, authors and teachers, dissolving your fears. Workshops of wisdom, the circle is wide. Plant medicine whispers, the planets align. All magnets, crystals, pyramid. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramid. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramid. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramid. Crystals and pyramids, magnets that spin. Orgone awakening the power within. Tantra and herbs, the gateways ignite. Shamanic drums calling truth into light. Magnets, crystals, pyramid. Magnets, crystals, pyramid. Magnets, crystals, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Psychedelics painting vision so bright. Planet.
Greetings and welcome, family, to Magnets, Crystals, Pyramids. We must have some special guests tonight because it literally, while I was setting up the my computer just went and had a myocardial infraction, something. So I'm trying to set the computer back up. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, as we always say, thank you for being born. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for surviving conception and incarnation. And we thank and invite our ascended master brothers and sisters. We thank and invite TEHUTI. We thank and invite Yahshua, Mary of Magdalene, Black Madonna. We thank and invite Imhotep, Ptahhotep, Akhenaten, because upon their shoulders we are riding. We thank and invite Marcus Mosaic Garvey, Sanat Kumara, Harriet Tubman, Mary McLeod Bethune. We thank and invite Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon. We thank and invite Shroom Master, Kalindi Ayi, Shroom Master, Dr. Sabi, Shroom Master, Dr. George Washington Carver. We thank and invite South African Zulu Shaman Credo Mutwa. We thank and invite the forces of nature that live within us. Ilegba, Oshun, Yemaya, Oya, Olokun, Shango, Ogun, Orumila, Obatala. We thank Enoch, the Ethiopian who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron. We thank and invite Nikolai Tesla. We thank and invite Gatekeeper of Mount Shasta, Saint Germain. We thank and invite El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Prophet Elijah Muhammad. We thank and invite all the shaman warriors, gods and goddesses who serve the rhythm of love. So without further ado, let's get into the show. Hold on, I think I got my computer back up. Let me see if I can pull it up on I never had that happen. So we got some heavyweights tonight. Somebody with them messed up my computer for a second. I never had my computer faint like that. So I'm going back over here and coming into the studio, and then I'm gonna drop my phone. And here we go. Let me put myself, add to stage. Thank you. Welcome. Our featured guest tonight. If y'all, I want to make sure y'all can hear me. Let me turn this up. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yes, Uncle Hank.
Yes. Uncle Hank in the house with King Shekhem. And I want to thank you, TEHUTI, KHAMAU. I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. Let me take my phone off. Let me get my phone out of here. Remove my phone. Right? That's my phone. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, we can't hear you now if you're speaking.
All right. How's it sound now? Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Greetings. It's an honor to have all of you here. I want to make it so that we can see each other before we. Shekhem, it's an honor to see you after all these years. I magnetized you one time, decades ago, in the magnets while you were sitting in the massage chair. I was giving you a magnet massage on your spine. You remember that?
Vaguely. So many things have happened since then. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for that wonderful ecumenical libation.
Ashe, aho.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, because you was in the chair and you cut your eye over at me and said, I'm the king. I was like, greetings, king. Cool. Yeah, I remember. Moments like that don't fade from memory too much. TEHUTI, KHAMAU, welcome.
Yes, brother. Thank you so much for having us.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, y'all running with some force, man. You got something going on. It just knocked my computer, fainted, fell back, just went offline. I was like, what in the world? So, we had to thank and invite the great ones that's rocking with y'all. People in the comments, in the audience, let me know if you can hear. Okay, but I think we can hear everybody all right.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly now.
All right, that's good. So bring the family up to speed, because this is a new generation. Brother King, I'm calling you Brother King Shekhem. That's why I knew you as back in the day. Shekhem. Is that okay?
That's okay, my brother.
You know what? You sound like you related to our brother. The way the linguistics, the little I heard, you remind me of Samaj, Baba Samaj. Y'all must be from the same neck of town, man.
Most likely, I'm going to an event for him this Sunday at Edgar Evers. They're holding a ceremony for him.
Yes, yes.
Let's
I want
may
to
he rest
give.
in peace, huh? I said, may he rest in peace.
Yes, yes. I want to give a special acknowledgement to a sister who's organizing it, Abut Akaya Ma'at. She's helping to coordinate it. I said, listen, Abut Akaya Ma'at, you know you got to feed the folks. You know, y'all should dance for Baba Sen Samaj. Pop it a little bit, but I don't know if they're going to do that. So, Brother King, Shekhem, maybe you can get them folks to get some rhythm going, because they need to help them dance those way right into the ancestors, so that we can continue having the momentum, but moving right along. Let the folks know who you are.
Thank you once more again for having us. I'm the head of the Ausar Auset Society, 51 years now in existence. And we are in about some 50 cities around the world right now. We have, branches. We have individual members. So we've been spreading the ancestral teachings to get rid of this thing called the diaspora, bring us once again in unity together. So we've been teaching, the ancient spiritual teachings to our people, because that's what they need to restore humanity and the divinity. So in a nutshell, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yes, brother.
Please introduce yourself also, so that we can just start the free flow.
All right, thank you, Brother Hank, and peace to the audience. My name is TEHUTI KHAMAU, and I'm one of the students of the master teacher, Un Nefer Amen. And interesting that you showed 138th Street, which you're opening, because that's where I first encountered his person and his teachings, on 138th Street in Harlem.
Wow.
Yes. So that was back in, for me, 1980. So it's been 45 years of study. And the amazing thing is every week, every lecture, almost every conversation is like fresh water, nourishing your soul. So honored to be here and to assist the master teacher in our latest endeavor, which is to bring out the winter solstice to thousands of people, something we've been observing for 50 years, to really bring it out. Now that we are post-COVID, everybody's technologically able to participate no matter where they are in the world. We're going to have our largest, most powerful outreach to the community and the world to get everybody in the same vibration during this sacred time, as we focus on cultivating our inner peace so that we can have outer peace. Because we can't have peace in the world if people don't have peace within, don't even know what peace is.
That's very well said. So I'm coming back to you, Brother King, Shekhem. How did you start your journey? Because this is like mystical, somewhat political, it's artistic. I mean, ever since I remember, I saw a set from the 1980s when I came back from Miami. Could you just give the new generation an overview, please?
Yeah, well, in 1974, I wrote my first book, The Realization of Neter Nur, a Kabbalistic guide to the realization of divinity. And the book had a much larger reception than I could ever hope, that I could ever imagine. And people had lots of questions, because they began to improve their lives overnight with this book. And I came to the realization that you just don't write a book like that and give it to people. You have to hold their hands and walk with them and help them to not only understand the teachings, but to form a community where together you will help each other live these teachings and create an accountability in a framework, because spirituality requires accountability, just not simply understanding. And we are a people of tradition. Tradition is that body of accountability. So Ausar Auset was a accountability social organization. And that is one of the reasons that, we have survived 51 years and expanded from 138th Street and St. Nicholas to all over the world now. You see that?
That's amazing that we opened. Something just told me to open with brother, my co-host, Brother Baraka, and we did that during the summertime, 138th Street, and it was like, bring that up, and I was like, okay, I'm just following intuition, and what you shared, Brother Tehuti, is amazing. The synchronicities and the teaching.
That's the spirit talking. It's not chance, coincidence, or odds that you would open up with an opening, and he's blowing a horn, which is in African tradition, one of the things that's done before a king enters. So for those with eyes to see, that was a very powerful spiritual moment right there.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So first, whatever force is with you, Brother King, Shekhem, you knocked my computer off. I don't know, the computer just fainted. I had to go and use a cell phone and restart the computer. And then we just happened to synchronize with the blowing of the horn, 138th Street. And here we are. Now, what's so special about December 21st or 22nd that you're honoring that? Please share.
Very good. One of the most powerful agents in the world is cycles. Everything in this world is on a cycle, principle. There's a clock governing all the events in the world. As in one of the Bibles, it is said that there's nothing new under the sun, meaning that everything that happens has happened before and will happen again. Not only on the same level, but on different levels, meaning that some things will recur every day, once every 24 hours, and it will recur and the underlying theme will recur again once every month, and then once every year, or then once every 12 years, and then once the same, underlying energy replicates itself over and over, but on different levels. And the different levels are not, they combine to create the illusion of difference. But underneath, they are one and the same. And when we speak about the winter solstice, the events that occur December 21st to the 24th midnight, that occur in our psyche, deep in our psyche, in our mind and soul and the spirit, which is why most people, are not aware that there's a recurring force, happening inside of them. And what this force does, it renews every single cell in your body, in your psyche, in your soul. And these agents, they govern your wellness. They govern the renewal of your soul, your brain, your mind, and so on. So that people, they celebrate this coming new year, not understanding that it is their vehicles, mind, brain, soul, and so forth, that's been renewed. It's not nature by itself being renewed, but every functional agent within you is also being renewed. Provided that you observe the forces and principles that govern the renewal of your being. And when people somehow they got the impression that, with the new year comes the opportunity to improve yourself, to do better, whatever, and so on. You see? But the problem is that they don't know when is the new year. What day is the new year? They don't know that. And they don't know what to do, how to connect with the parts of the soul, the brain, and so forth, to make sure that they are renewed along with the rest of the planet. You see that? And because we have been observing further, let's go back a little further, because for thousands of years, ancient Egyptian, the KHAMAU people, they observed these teachings. That's how they were able to build, a 6,000-year-old civilization that manifested such greatness. And that's how us in Osiris in the past 51 years, have been able to survive, because we know when the new year really occurs, which is December 25th, not January 1st. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot spend those days, reveling and drinking and getting drunk and acting out whatever. You have to quiet yourself, go deep into your spirit. You see that? Into the depths of your soul, so that you can connect, you see, with the universe. And as people say, the quantum particles residing in the depths of your being. You see that? So, because it is your responsibility to direct these forces of nature. You see that? Not for them to do things for you, but for you to do things with them and for God. And then you will have a blessed new year. Otherwise, it will be a repetition of the same old, or even worse.
Wow. Did I say it right, Brother TEHUTI?
Yes, sir.
KHAMAU? What would you like to share?
Well, yeah, it's a blessing to be able to take our ancestral teachings, right, and the wisdom that came out of Kemet. And as you know, one of the central stories of Kemet is the story of Ausar, where Ausar's body, or the Greeks call Osiris, is cut up and distributed all around the world. So when we talk about Kemet, we have the keys to unite the teachings of wisdom and ageless wisdom all over the world. But the point is, how do we live it today? How do we apply it to what's going on in our relationships? How do we apply it to our financial challenges, our social, political situation? And that's the key that Shekhem has always focused on, the practical application. So when he speaks about the 50 odd years, this was built on success, experiences where people have been able to improve their lives, improve their relationships, improve their careers, their financial life, their social life, given that they followed and observed the practice, which is, that's our responsibility. The great masters can show us the way, but we have to walk that path. So, we're just thankful to be here. And we're actually going to be in Brooklyn this weekend talking more about this, because we want people to know the benefits that we've experienced, the hundreds and hundreds of lives that have been changed, that we have documented through testimonials, through the Kamitic meditation system, which is using the hekau, the mantras, the words of power, and the meditation scripting that Shekhem has developed to help us to bring together all of these elements at the right time, so that you can have a better 2026 than 2025.
Now listen, I'm just talking straight. Like we're right now, like I don't have the social club music in the background, but I'm noticing both you brothers looking healthy, man. I'm looking at Brother King Ra. Yo, you ain't got a wrinkle on your face, man. And I'm looking at you, TEHUTI. You looking like I said, you look like you a jazz musician, man. I picked up that vibe when you started talking. But you ain't got no wrinkles, family. Take note. Now, my question is, Brother King, Shekhem, what kind of tea are you drinking?
Well, it's not the tea. You start you start every day. Make sure the first thing that you do is give thanks to God. You see that? not only for another day, but with vigor and vitality and youthfulness. And that's what we mean by Hotep. It's in ancient Egypt when people saw each other, they greeted each other with Hotep. You see that? You know, which is just not simply how are you or, you know, hi, whatever. It means, you know, spiritual wellness for you. Blessings of spiritual wellness and all that it brings in your life. You see that? See, because people run around thinking that they have to get things and have things in order to be, you know, happy. Not understanding that you have to be happy first in order to guarantee, you see, achieving your goals in life. You see? So a life that is free of stress. You see that? Not stressful events. There's no such thing as stressful events. You manifest stress. You see, anger, fear, worry, grief, because you don't know that you're a divine being capable of rising above all that you think is stressful. So as long as you live in your life, you're subject to stress, the delusion that things are stressful, then you will age very quickly. Not only age very quickly, but die prematurely as well.
Okay, Brother TEHUTI, KHAMAU, what's your secret? You're looking good there, bro.
Well, I've been fortunate. I always tell people that I was fortunate to be saved before I got to damage myself too much, because I was still in my my early 20s when I came across the teachings, and I was so inspired, and most importantly, I had a collective. You know, it's much easier when you have people to walk with you, and you have some examples of some people a little bit older, some people your age, some people even younger, and everybody's learning. How do we change our diet? We became vegans under his direction back in the 70s.
Wow.
A lot of things that, and I would share some, I guess I could share some personal news. I just had a great physical, and I had developed a little pre-diabetic condition, and I was able to reverse it completely. And it's because of the teachings. You know, Shekhem introduced to us the understanding of intermittent fasting decades ago, that people on the internet now talking about like this is news. He introduced this to us decades ago. I just had to tighten up my practice. He introduced us vegan lifestyle. We like to say before vegan was cool, you know, fasting, eating according to the energies of the different foods. These are all things that we learned way back in the 70s and people before me. And when I came in the 80s, there was already a group of people several years ahead of me. So it was easy for me to move right into that lifestyle. So that's what we're blessed to have the fruit of now. And we have many elders, we have many people in our group that have done very well health-wise, you know, compared to their family members who may not be on that lifestyle or people of their same generation. So if you're seeing something, this is the blessings of following these wise teachings that he's brought to our community.
Well, this is an example, and Brother King Simon's giving y'all shout outs and accolades. Say he's been listening to King Shekhem since LIB and WBLS.
Yes.
So a special acknowledgement to Brother King Simon. And thank you to all the audience and family members, Frequency family. That's because you got a packed house right now. They want to hear how you maintain your shine at your altitude of fruition. I'll put it like that. So you're saying the beginning of the year begins in December?
That's correct.
Because you know we heard about March, but never heard December. Please share.
Yes, if you notice that, you know, from December the 25th to January the 21st, the days the sun is rising a degree earlier and setting a degree lower each day. And then on June the 25th to December the 21st, the sun rises a degree, earlier, later, and sets a degree later. And it's dark by the time 4 p.m. comes, it's dark already in the winter months. You see that? So this light and day, this electromagnetic fluctuation, and you know a lot about it because you're a magnet, master. This magnetic humility, that's good. That's part of what keeps us all. And by the way, you're looking good yourself too now. Don't play yourself, right? So the thing is,
It's the tea. It's the tea.
Yes, sir. Well, the thing is that the electromagnetic forces that governs life on Earth fluctuate from December the 25th to June the 21st, from June the 25th to December the 21st. That's the electromagnetic fluctuation that you can tie into the poles of the Earth. You see that? And those electromagnetic fluctuations, is what deposits the underlying force that governs the cycles of all things on the planet. So the renewal of the body, the mind, the soul, and so forth occurs on December 25th. You see? And, and nothing new is happening on January the 1st. It's too late. You know the song, right? It's too late, baby, right? So the whole thing, so the whole thing is that there's no renewal that's taking place on January the 1st. It happens on December the 25th. Changes begin from June the 25th, and every day, the days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and so on. And this is and then it renews itself on December 25th. And the other people that says, the Savior of the world has been born on that day. You see that? They didn't say the Savior was born on January 1st. They said that what is going to save us, what's going to renew us, what's going to replenish us is born on the 25th. And on the 4 days, 21st to 24th, the darkening of the day, stands there. Hence the word solstice, solstice. And those 4 days, are the most receptive days for your soul, is to communicate with you. You can communicate with your soul and redirect. So if your soul right now is been programmed to do crazy things, like make you drink alcohol and cuss and treat people the wrong way and so forth, you can renew that. You see, by deep meditations and rituals, December 21st to the 24th. People say, it's hard to give up liquor. It's hard to give up these things and so on. No, it's not hard. You're trying to do it the wrong time. You don't have no foundation for changing your psyche, for changing your mind and your brain. You see that? Every single cell in your body, all trillion of them, are renewed periodically, but the master foundation for cell change occurs in those 4 days, December 21st to December the 24th, midnight.
Wow.
Yes. But you have to cooperate with nature. You cannot be out there reveling and doing crazy things. You see, because somebody told you that that's the day for you to, go shopping.
Right.
Right. It's a commercial thing.
I remember in the 1980s, and this is in the early 80s, the one thing I learned from you and your organization, brother Ra Shekhem and TEHUTI KHAMAU, is to take my belt, and instead of having it go from left to right to have my clothes, I remember you used to have the clothes going from right to left. And I could actually feel the difference in the energy. Like when you would be able to have like a robe, and instead of the European style of having the left side over the right, I would have it right over the left. And I was like, wow, this feels better. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah. We still do that.
I still do it every time I put my belt on.
Yes, sir.
please share with the family what happens with right over left compared to the miseducation here, where everything is left to right.
Well, it's really a symbolic thing, and of course, the symbols are words, symbols are stories, that if you're open to them, they will affect your life. You see that. But you have to be open to them. It's a symbolic, practice in many parts of Africa. You see that. And in certain parts of Africa, it is what men do, and women go the opposite direction, men goes in the opposite direction, and so on. But it's mostly symbolic, and so on.
Brother Tahuti, I
Yes.
want to thank you, and I want to thank your cousin Monique from Nicholas Bookstore for setting up this meeting. She was like, "You got to have them on the show," because she's a Sag. She talks like that. So I want to thank you, Monique, for bringing on your cousin and bringing on our distinguished guest, King Ra Shekhem. So what did you got? What was it 2026 looking like? If y'all can give us a little taste of what's happening as far as what the vibe is for Brooklyn and the world.
Well, if we want to get an idea of what kind of events are going to happen, Chinese life science is the best tool to use. And next year, this year we have the year of the snake, and tomorrow, next year, will be followed by the year of the horse. You see that. And in the horse, we find that there is a questioning of authority. You see that. So there's going to be lots of people questioning those who think that they have authority. You see that, and it was going to be something that they would not imagine could happen. That question of those in authority and power and with the world will not take it sitting down as they did in the past centuries and millennia. Yes, yes,
Okay. And what about you, Brother Am Tahuti? The way things are right now, the way social media is looking, tell us what you think, brother.
I think we're definitely at a changing point. A lot of people, as you know, are waking up. It kind of reminds me of the 60s energy on a different level, that people are becoming more aware, and people are becoming more in tune to the need for spirituality. So what I share with people is what I've learned, that one thing is for sure about 2026 is that there are going to be difficulties, obstacles, losses, obstructions, but there's also going to be opportunities, right? So the real question, the only thing that we have total control over is who is going to show up for us, right? Is it going to be our true self, our higher self, our divine self? Or is it going to be the same old person that we've been dragging around, with carrying the past, traumas and dysfunction? So that's what we focus on. What we focus on is the who. Who are you going to be this year? And you have control over that if you immerse yourself in the spiritual practices.
Now, this is real deep what you're sharing, because I said I took the flyer that I got from Monique, and I'm going to share it. And I created, to honor the both of you and your collective frequency family, the tribe, I put together a song. And I'm using the technology that's available, the AI technology. But this is a honorary tribute to y'all. I want to share it with the family, and because this felt right out of all the selections.
He will be there on the double. You feel the warmth of his embrace with his soothing grace. When you think you've lost it all, you'll see him in your life again. You'll feel the warmth of his embrace with his soothing grace.
Now, the reason I bring that up, my brothers, is because the energy you're projecting on this show is a form of stability, masculinity, and your energy is projecting to the audience like everything's going to be all right. Like, hold your bearings. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, Brother King, Shekhem, and Brother TEHUTI? We could feel your energy projection right here on the show. And so that's a tribute. And that message is to maintain hope, because so many people seem to be looking for a beacon so they can reckon with all the distractions. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much so. And I appreciate you putting that together. It's so important. You know, there's so many distractions. There's so many negative energies. There's so many forces that have aligned. And as you know, we are facing record incidences of people experiencing anxiety, things we didn't grow up with, right, brother? You know, depression. I just learned that recently the suicide and thoughts of self-harm, something that we didn't identify with when we were growing up, is now really becoming much more pronounced in the world and in our community. And you can understand why, with all the dystopian type of forces and projections of what the future will be like. So it's very important what Shekham's teaching us about happiness, and that peace, inner peace, cultivated inner peace is the real source of happiness. That is what we must work on. We must cultivate. And that's what will enable us to endure the ups and the downs that will surely come, no matter what our position might be right now.
Brother King Ra, Shekhem, we're talking about, I know you stepped out for a moment. You have the energy like grandpa, but you sharp. You still got your cognitive awareness. And you got a whole bunch of godchildren out here saying, like, what should we do for 2026, Grandpa? Grandpa Ra, just for the show, speaking respectfully. Talk to the children, whatever messages, and Uncle, Grandpa, TEHUTI, talk to the kids, man. They're out here. Packed house.
Yes, sir. My computer shut down for a little while because too many people were streaming in the house. I had to leave and come back into the studio. They said, well, it's about taking an opportunity of the power of the time, meaning that the electromagnetic forces governing, the cycles of our lives has appointed midnight on the 24th circadian rhythm as the time for us to rejuvenate and renew ourselves to prepare for the next day. And the same way that we will not think of not sleeping and resting, at night to prepare for the next day of work and whatever we have to do. The same thing happens on the winter at the winter solstice. If you do not take that time out to rest and meditate and reprogram with spiritual science, your brain and your mind and so on to prepare for the next year, you're going to find that next year will be hard. Not because it is hard, it's because you did not prepare. You did not know how to prepare. So you got to take time to learn about your brain, your psyche, your soul, your mind, and not simply trying to succeed through Western, external means. It's like you find. I'm a musician. I was supposed to be a concert pianist. Went to school
Wow.
I went
Okay.
as a piano major. Minus College of Music, and I prepared for Minus at Juilliard Prep and so forth with Elizabeth Raef. So I was supposed to be a concert pianist. Okay. But what happened was that I was redistributed in the different directions by the spirits and so have you. I spent a lot of time from the time I was 4 years old studying music. You see that?
Wow.
So I saw the benefits of on my brain when I was rehearse music in my imagination as away from the keyboard. I would rehearse music in my imagination, and I would see my cognitive abilities shoot up. You see that? So I came to the realization that when young people are no longer playing and practicing on the instruments, you see that, and working their mind on the music as opposed to, using the electronic devices, the AI and the sampling instead of studying harmony and theory and applying themselves, developing those skills. Not only are you, not developing musical skills, you're also not replenishing and strengthening your brain. You see that? In other words, they say, Mozart and this music is good for the brain. That demonstrated it. I mean, if we notice a lot of our, musicians, top musicians, a lot of them live until their 90s. You see that? Late 80s, 90s, and so forth. I'm in my early 80s now, you see. So the thing, and I know what music has done for my brain and my health and so on. So young people need to make sure they get back to playing chess, make sure they get back to reading, get back to playing an instrument, get back to music theory, understanding and mastery and things of that nature, get back to the fundamental, hard, scientific and traditional studies. You see that? So
I like that. I like that.
we've been raised in an environment where we want, something that is fast, quick, and doesn't take much effort. That's the theme of today. And that is going to keep you from developing your brain and your health to the level that they should be worked at.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Brother TEHUTI, drop it on us, brother. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Go ahead. I had stopped it just so we didn't have the feedback. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's powerful, what was just said. I was taking a minute to really absorb that and think about my grandchildren and, the difference of what is we're being exposed to. We're being raised with this 7-second mentality, that if something is not entertaining us, even when it comes to absorbing information, people find it hard to pay attention because we are so conditioned now, that things have to come easy and quick, as he just said. So it's a battle, and meditation is definitely the key. I call meditation your MVP, your most valuable practice. So that's the other thing that we're teaching is, meditation will help you to develop your brain and make you better at every aspect of your life. So as far as guidance to younger people, find a good and competent teacher and follow and learn how to really excel in meditation.
Excellently said. I like. Now, what's the connection with music and priesthood? Because it seems like a lot of the drum majors love music. Touch on that, please.
Well, the brain is, it's very rhythmic. You see, the brain waves, beta, alpha, delta, theta, and so forth, are different wavelengths, rhythm. You see that? And the thing is that you can program, you can lay down the foundation for reprogramming the brain. You see that through rhythm, through music, through melody and harmony. You see that? So yes, music, as a matter of fact, music is in every ancient non-Western tradition is part of meditation and ceremonies and so on. It's only lately, due to the work of the Beatles when they got Maharishi Mahesh Yogi to come to the United States, where meditation became a silent thing. No, if you want to impact your brain, to reprogram it, to bring you wellness and wealth, they said you got to do as our ancestors did down south. Get the drums out and the tambourines out and catch the spirit. You see that? Go into trance through the dance. You see that?
Trance through the dance. I like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I got my djembe right behind me. I'm ready to pull it up, show the drum skin. Go ahead, brother Tony. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, it's so true, and we got to have a conversation about music on a real in-depth level one time, because I know that's something dear to your heart. And Shekhem is just an example of somebody who had shown incredible power as a musician at a very young age. And fortunately, he devoted his life to using meditation, to using music to heal. And you might have seen in his bio, he has composed over 100 different musical tracks, and they are used to evoke different powers of the brain or the spirit, including the archangelic forces of the tree of life and the 72 angelic powers of the spirit. So we're skimming the surface on something that's very deep, and part of the secret sauce to what has made the Osirian tradition so powerful is his ability to bring the different tones, musical compositions, and re-wed them with the words of power, the healing words of power, the vibration.
Powerful. There's been some powerful people that come through your teachings, Brother Ra Shekhem. I'm thinking of Dr. KHAMAU Kokai, giving him a shout out. Geb Hetep. I remember it was Sister Listra. I remember the artist Metu. I mean, the list just goes on. I mean, something about your recipe activates their genius and their divinity. So it's working. It definitely is working. So I have given you the acknowledgement, bro.
Well, I'm hoping that you can make it to our meditation on December the 21st. You want to listen to it?
I'm gonna be there with TEHUTI KHAMAU's cousin, Monique from Nicholas Bookstore.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right outside the door. I'm gonna have the magnets right there. I'm gonna be going in and out. In and out.
The core support of that meditation is music to awaken and arouse. It awakens the chakras, the various centers of the life force. And by the way, there are 14 and not 7 chakras. There are 14 of them. And I proved that in my book, Light and Kundalini Yoga, which I wrote a couple of years ago. So check it out.
I remember the music being played when we was at the Armory. I think it was on Pacific or the block right there in Washington. I remember being up on the walk around, and I remember they were doing a rehearsal, but I liked the music. I remember that. That's going back in the 80s. I remember that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, come and get re-energized on the 21st and bring your people with you.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have a packed house. That's at 801 Dean Street It was Dean Street.
That's correct.
Yeah. And I used to get the veggie patties from the other location off Atlantic Avenue in Bedford. I forgot that small street, but that's when I first started. I was doing foot reflexology, Brother King Ra and Tehuti, and I would buy from, I think it was one of your wives, orange blossom oil. And the clients loved it. And I used to always have to restock at African Arts Festival. So it just keeps going on and on and on.
There you go.
Let's see if you have any
Brother
questions.
Hank, somebody had a question about how to get the music. And
Oh.
I did want to let everybody know that if they go to the link I think was put in the description about signing up for the free, we're calling it a global group guided meditation on December 21st. It is fully. It's going to be broadcasted from the Restoration Community Center, Restoration Plaza in Brooklyn or Fulton Street, Brooklyn, New York. So we will have some limited space for people who can make it in person, but it's also going to be broadcasted worldwide. So when you register for that, and it's a free event, you get access to our free meditation portal that has the Amen track, music meditation track inside waiting for you. It's a powerful 30-minute meditation track with music, mantras, and also affirmations that help you to center yourself in your divine peace. So you don't want to miss out on that. That alone will change people's lives if they do that just 20 minutes a day.
Awesome. You got somebody said, I was trying to order some of your books. Is there a specific number I can call to order? I know they have them at Nicholas Bookstore, some of them. But I think you have the links in the show description. True, Brother Tehuti?
Or they can go to KamiticLegacy.com as well. But yes, at Nicholas Bookstore, we should have books available now.
And they ship right away. Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's pretty much it. I'm just checking to see if there's any more questions. Here's a question. How meditation changed your life most? From who? Khalil Coleman, 7947. How did meditation change your life the most?
Well, you want to take that?
Okay, well, in so many ways. I'd say the first thing that happened when I learned how to meditate with the Kamitic meditation system is a lot of the habits that I was struggling with kind of just fell away. And we found that to be true with a lot of people. We had one amazing testimonial, this couple that, they were using a drug for many, many years. And without even focusing on putting that habit down, something in their soul just shifted from doing the meditation for a few short weeks, and they just both dropped it. And I had the same experience. A lot of things that I would have thought was hard to give up just fell away. And many, many other things, many experiences. But another powerful thing that happened was I found that, meditation was not just relaxation. It was not just healing. That's kind of like a side benefit. But meditation actually made me better at anything I attempted to do. I found that the meditation skill spilled over, and I was able to learn things faster and retain things better. So especially if this is looks like a younger brother, this is, like I said, it's your MVP. It's your most valuable practice. It will help you in your career. It will help you deal with your emotions. It will help you be a better mate, a better father, everything, a better criminal, if that's what you want to be. It's just, but eventually it'll wake up the ethical part of you as well. But I just say that to say that meditation itself just makes everything you're attempting to do better.
Good answer. Now, this is a question for me, and we got a few more. What time you brothers usually go to sleep?
Well, my day is very full, so I'm going to confess here that from time to time I break the rules. But the time that the biological clock within us says the correct time to go to bed is 11 p.m. You know, that was also is also archived in the Taoist teachings of China. And that's the correct time to go to bed at 11 p.m. You know, in the hour of the rat, and you are able then to then it's a 2 hour period, and it shifts over to the hour of the ox, which is the deepest, non-REM sleep at 12 midnight, and then comes, 1 to 3 a.m. That brings you in now to rapid eye movement, sleep, which is very, very good for your rejuvenation functions. You see that? But that 11 a.m. is only useful if your last meal is not later than around 7 p.m., around 5 p.m., because eating, resets and disturbs the chronobiological clock within you. You see that? You see, and if you're doing heavy exercising 6 p.m. because that's the time you get off from work, that too is going to affect the quality of sleep and so on. So when you approach the best time to do things, the law of cycles, you have to do it holistically, just not, pick one function and try to live that function. You have to engage in all of the various functions in your life.
Okay. Any follow up on that, Brother Tehuti?
Ditto.
All right, next question I got, and then we'll go to the others.
Mm-hmm.
Which direction do you like to sleep most often? Like north, south, east, west? Please.
Well, I follow when it comes to directions, it is controlled by the electromagnetic forces on the planet. So I learned to sleep according to these electromagnetic forces. So I use the Chinese life science of feng shui, spell Fengshui, feng shui, pronounced different from the way it's written. So my healing direction is north. So I sleep with the top of my head facing north, because and it has to do with that magnetic energy, that magnetic node that is discharged from the northern hemisphere, the North Pole. My feet is towards the southern pole, and so on. But and sleeping in that direction, I make sure that my chest is not exposed to the western side, because that is not good for my well-being. So, if you want to know the best direction for anything in life, for dealing with authorities and dealing with your health and your scholarly work and your meditation, get an app on feng shui, a feng shui app. A lot of them are free on the internet and on your phone, and services and so on. So use the feng shui system because it is rooted in science, ancient science. And the verification will come to you as you in a few days. You will see the magnificent changes in your life. Because as you know, Brother Honk, that electromagnetic force is very powerful stuff.
Yeah, because I noticed Brother Tehuti, Brother King Ra, Shekhem family, when I'm sleeping with my head to the north and my chest to the east, I got my cat right next to me. He knows, it seems like cats, they got a clock on their paw or something. They know what time to go to sleep. And I usually try to get in the bed around 11:30. But when I turn my back and lay with my chest to the west, my cat's like, yo, I can't ride this no more. I'm out of here. And he leaves the room. until I flip over and got my chest to the east, which I find to be amazing. Now, Tehuti, you want to build on that, or you ditto on that too?
Well, you know, I'm doing the same thing. Right now I'm facing the west. So we've been taught that science, and we've been practicing that for decades. So you will find out that, for example, if I'm at a desk and trying to do some work, that direction things will flow better than when you turn in another direction. A lot of people pick that up intuitively, but the feng shui based on your birthday is very accurate. So that's one of the sciences that we were trained in.
And that's one of the hidden secrets in using the gemstones. See, like if you're going to face, like right now I'm facing south, which is my success direction. You see that? And my shirt has a little red in it. You see that? You know, so if I was going to wear a red stone, you know, ruby or something cheaper than that, you see, facing south. You see that? Okay. And or southeast for romantic relationships and so on. And so get a feng shui book. It'll be a great addition to your business, you know, magnets and gemstones and pyramids and so on.
Thank you for that. Now I want to bring up this full screen layout. What do we have here?
So this is a description of the course that we have. So there's two things going on, family. There's a free group meditation that's taking place on December 21st. That's this month, and that's a Sunday. So that's going to be a Sunday evening. We're going to gather around 4 p.m. The meditation should start around 5 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be a powerful experience. So that's a come everybody type of event, and we're going to be broadcasting. We're going to have gatherings in Chicago and Atlanta, in Florida, and California, and Seattle, and the UK. So our goal is to have 10,000 people this time around, all focusing on cultivating this divine inner peace through the mantras and the music and the meditation and the affirmations that we will be sharing on this broadcasted meditation. But for folks who want to go deeper, really want to make sure that you get the full benefit of the winter solstice, and not just the winter solstice, which is the 21st to the 24th, the whole winter season, which runs all the way to the equinox. We're having a meditation program that is it has a 21-day intensive starting next Thursday, December 11th, and running till January 6th. And then there will be support modules continuing after that. So that's going to be a combination of master classes by the master teacher, Un Nefer Amen. There's going to be weekly master classes. There's also a membership portal where there'll be deep instruction on how to unite with the highest faculties of your spirit, how to do the Kamitic meditation scripting, the breath work, all of the elements that will help you to become very, very proficient in going into the deep meditation brainwave states and functioning in those states. Also, information on how to formulate your goals for the new year and how to put those goals into the powerful visual images and accompany them with the proper affirmations so that when you go into the meditation state, you can truly impact your so-called subconscious to activate and to manifest your goals in 2026. So it's an entire program that you can enjoy for the 21 days and beyond. So to get more information about that, you can, I don't know if you can scan this code that's on your screen right now, but the link is in the description as well, right, Brother Hank?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And I don't know if you could put it in the chat for people.
You know what? I'm gonna do that right now. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Y'all can continue. I'm going to pull it up on my phone.
So that program, which is worth hundreds of dollars, we're offering to the community for $75, and there's a membership discounted price of even $50. So you can learn about that on the website. But the free meditation is available for everyone. Make sure you sign up for that tonight, and you can go ahead and start to access the Amen guided meditation that's in your free portal. And if you like what you experience there, you want to learn more, you can always upgrade and come into the course with us.
Excellent. Let me just I'm just maneuvering so I can share the link. I'll put it in the chat. Let me just grab this. And
I did see some questions about how to get the books and other things like our Oracle systems. So when you sign up for the free meditation, we'll have your email address. We'll be able to talk to you about that and to keep you posted on everything that we're doing here in New York, in Pennsylvania, and throughout the country. We have some groups all over the country. So some of you that are tuning in with us on YouTube, there might be a group near you in your city that you can also connect to. For those of you in Brooklyn, I'm going to be in Brooklyn at Nicholas on Saturday at 4 p.m. doing a workshop on the solstice and on success in 2026 using our astrological calendar and meditation journal. So you can come at 4 o'clock to Nicholas, and we can build on that. And also I want to shout out to my cousin Monique, wish her a happy Earth Day solar return. She's going to be celebrating her birthday later that evening right there. True business.
oh,
She's having her birthday party in her store.
yeah, she is. I'm gonna be there. They got the cake, for goodness sake. I also want to bring up. This is a beautiful website, family. Got to pull this up for you. Look at this, and Brother King Ra, Shekhem, and Brother TEHUTI. Can you see? Can you see it?
I see the first panel.
Tell me how you want me to scroll it.
Can you go down?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Right, so right there at the top, you can reserve your spot. Once again, this is part of something that we didn't talk about, Brother Hank, is that Shekhem has been a community servant for 51 years. Most of the classes that he's taught up there at 138th Street, and then when he went to Brooklyn, and he used to get every weekend, he used to go to Connecticut, to Washington, D.C., to Philadelphia, and that's how our community got built. And 99% of that was free will donation, because he's truly wanting to serve. Yes, peace and blessings, Monique. He's truly about serving the community. So that's why we're having this free meditation for everybody. He is certainly of the caliber and even beyond of a lot of people out here now, these gurus and so on, that are charging thousands and thousands of dollars. So this is a free meditation. You get a free 30-minute guided meditation just for signing up. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to get the most out of solstice, we have a course for under $100 that you're going to get tons of support, and also guided meditations every day of the winter solstice, the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. We will have, live guided meditations in person if you are in one of our areas, or over the internet, if anywhere in the world. So yeah, you could scroll down some more. So yeah, this is just reiterating what we talked about, how this time of year is so important to manifest change. And one of the things, Brother Hank, that I learned from Shekhem years ago, which I never thought about it, like a lot of people, I might have made a little resolution, but that whole tradition of New Year's resolution, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like something that's hidden right in front of our face. That you didn't say make a New Year's wish. You said make a New Year's resolution. And what's a resolution?
Mm.
A resolution is that you're resolving yourself to change your behavior. And that's so deep, because people say, well, you know, what's in the stars? You know, like, what's going to happen to me? You know, is it going to be a good year? Is it going to be a fortunate year? But really, the most important factor is, like I said, who you are, who you bring to the table, to the situation. There's going to be opportunities and obstructions. In fact, in the I think in the I Ching, it's uses the same word for opportunities and for what we would call a problem. So it's really who's going to show up. So resolving yourself to change so that you can bring a higher mindset and a higher skill set to whatever the situations are that come up in 2026. You need a higher mindset, and you need a higher skill set. And what we call a skill set is a set of talents or abilities that as you open, you recognize the orishas. You know, we recognize the Netaru, the orishas, the same thing. What are they? They are angelic powers that are within us that give us the ability, the skills to do what we need to do to be better in all areas of our life. So that's what the resolution is really about, meaning it's the fragments of a practice that this is the time to really go deep within and bring out your inner talents and abilities and focus them on your goals.
Yeah, I really like this website. This is top shelf, my brothers. Excellent. Excellent. And you even got the countdown, 17 days, 15 hours, 44 minutes. Whoever put together your website, salutations. This is tight.
We're fortunate Shekhem has attracted and trained up a bunch of very talented and devoted people.
Yeah. I like this. This is beautiful. What else are we looking at here?
So you're going to get a starter guide for your winter solstice. You're going to have the access this evening when you sign up to start meditating right away, working with the Amen guided meditation track. And then there'll be support through email, helping you to understand how to put your goals together, how to do a self-assessment. That's another aspect of the winter season, is a deep self-assessment that on the spiritual level is called the Uchal Madu, or the weighing of the heart and weighing of words. That great spiritual process that our ancestors went through, where you had to assess your behavior, and you assessed it according to a divine standard, not a human or animalistic standard. So you're going to learn there's lots of levels to, you know, as people say, there's levels to it, right? There are levels to this process. So wherever you are, if you're just beginning to kind of open up to spirituality, if you're just starting to learn how to meditate, this is something powerful for you to get you off to the right start. If you're a meditation veteran or a spiritual scholar, there are definitely levels that will help to nourish you, help you to activate the things that you already have learned, and put them into the right type of format so that you can advance yourself.
Okay, I got a question because part of my path was the herbal path from my indigenous bloodlines. Have you ever embraced the plant medicine for enhancing meditation? What's your philosophy on psychedelics, Kamitic psychedelics like shrooms and acacia?
So is Shekhem still on?
Yes, he is.
Okay, let's let him handle that.
Thank you, Laura. Well, we don't do shrooms because their safety, as far as we are concerned, have not been studied enough So there's some chances taken that are taken, and the effect on people varies according to what they bring to the experience. Meaning, if you have certain weaknesses and so forth, you may not do as well as others have done. And that's a great responsibility to assume for somebody else.
You got that right.
But the other thing is this here. Every hallucinogen that you find in nature, the brain manufactures and secrete.
Facts.
You see that? And if you know how to meditate with certain mantras and certain breathing techniques, you see that where you decrease the level of oxygen and increase the level of carbon dioxide, which is the opposite of what it should be. You bring down the oxygen to, let's say, 60% oxygen, 40% carbon dioxide, with certain sound, drumming and chanting, whatever, mantras, you can make the brain then manufacture certain hallucinogens for whatever experience that you want. You see that?
Bingo! You hit it right on the head.
Which is safer?
That what you just described, I could testify to that.
Okay.
You see why I wanted him to answer that.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to add something to what he said, because I was initiated by Shekhem in 1982. I've been a priest now for many years, and I've had many students and members come through Ausar Auset, and not even in the community, but just through counseling people. And as I said, I came to the community fortunately before I was able to damage myself too much, I say. But I did experience marijuana and so forth, in my youth. But I think something's different now than what we were exposed to.
Exactly.
Because I've had several cases and know of many cases of young people that are just not right. They're not having the kind of experience we had, which was relatively benign. I mean, unless you were like really out there with it, just indulging in something at a party once in a while or whatever have you. People weren't bugging out, quite frankly, like they are now. And
Yep.
I have had several have mental breakdowns or certain kind of effects. So, everybody has to choose their lifestyle and so on. But one of my favorite rap groups said, you can't trust it. And I would be very, very cautious if you're going to do anything as to where you're getting it from, because it doesn't seem to be the same substance that it was 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, there's somebody been messing with it. They've been messing with the weed, man.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody who seemed to smoke it, I'm just speaking from family.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like, they done blew a little fuse on their control board. It's like something's wrong with the weed.
And Shekhem has said it, and it's so true, that your most important organ is your brain, and it's your most important physical, survival tool. So do you really want to mess with that?
Well, the question is, what's your purpose? What is your purpose? Do you have a purpose? Other than just simply how it feels. In the 1970s, I met with the Dalai Lama, as well as a chief, one of the, I don't like to use the word chiefs, but a chief of one of the Amerindian people, and they passed the pipe around, just one puff of the pipe I took, so did the Dalai Lama, and so did the headmaster of the Indian nation that was there. And just that one puff, I felt very different. A lot of insight came from that meeting that otherwise I know would not have come. You see that? So that was a purpose. It wasn't just simply experimenting for the sake of it, or to see how it feels, for so-called good feeling or whatever, When I was a musician and experimenting with popular music, they used to call me Broadway Reggie back then,
All right. All right.
I wrote a couple of songs, and some of them made some money and so on. And the guys that are working with the Poindexter Brothers, Sin Line, Zillow and Hate and all the songs, they were pushing me to smoke marijuana. They said it would make me a better musician. But the thing is I was meditating in those days. And I realized that, and then I took one puff. I said, okay, all right, let me try this. I took one puff, and I didn't feel it, and they were looking in my face to see if I was going to have some type of a transformation. And they couldn't believe that I was still the same person, meaning that whatever I did through meditation pushed back against it. Yes, sir.
That's a good share. Good share.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was saying fell away, because once I started to experience the ecstasies of meditation, it was like you didn't really need that.
I'm noticing King Shekhem, TEHUTI, KHAMAU, family. If I get quiet, I'm experiencing more than ever like an internal radiant bliss. And I could actually see the energy extending from me for yards. And it hasn't been constant. It comes in like waves. And it makes me wonder, is this planet going through someplace in space that's activating our divine so-called junk DNA? Are we being like activated? King Ra, TEHUTI?
Okay, in other words, there is, as Ausar Auset said, that next year, and the energy is coming in now, there's going to be certain changes taking place in the world that's going to make certain people, ask many questions, deep questions about life. You see that? And the thing is, I think that's what you mean by that you're picking up right now. In Hindu yoga, there's three aspects of the soul and the spirit that happens when you are meditating. A lot is called Sat, Chit, Ananda. Ananda is that bliss that you're talking about. You see that? So if you're experiencing, this bliss more and more and more, it is confirmation for whatever meditation or mind work or soul work that you're doing and people around you. You see that? I'm experiencing a great deal of this myself, and so are my people. You see that? Because people are realizing that with the right mantras and the right spiritual approach to life and to people, through meditations, they can change this world. You see that? Okay, people think that, oh, my little me, there's nothing I can do about what's going on in the world. That is true as long as you try to approach the world with your human kit. But if you approach the world with your spiritual kit and tools, you, even just one of you, can change this world. We see that. And the gist of that story was the, Goliath and David story, that one person with the right kind of tools can bring, the mighty and the powerful down, because they are in the wrong and you're in the right. But it's not enough to be in the right. You have to have the spiritual skills. And as Ausar says, they're hiding in plain sight right now. You see that? If you go on the internet, Google search, Gemini search, a lot of the ancient spiritual teachings are now archived on the internet. You see that? You don't even have to buy the books anymore. There's a lot of articles out there that you can, if you have the right dedication and commitment, you can learn so much to help yourself and help to save this world. You will attract people to you. to work with you, as we are tonight.
Yeah. You want to build on that, TEHUTI?
Yeah, and I want to also address brother. It looks like Darian on YouTube, who's asking about how to understand the proper breathing technique and heal your lungs, expand your lung capability. That's also something that we've learned. We will be giving you resources to work with in the course, in the winter solstice meditation course. So it is a time, and I think also when people of like mind come together and we're speaking like we're speaking right now, there is a generation of energy and we can feel it. So I thought you were talking about this evening, that you could feel that chi, that what the Chinese call the wei chi, that field that's around us. And when we come together, we strengthen each other. So that's the goal of the 21st. We're not going to change the world without changing ourselves. But if we come together and align ourselves with the right vibrational energy at the right time, then we can all make progress in our development and be better at everything that we do.
This is a fascinating show. It is so seldom do I have mature brothers chopping it up like this, because this culture, this Western culture in this country, is focused on youth. And the untold story, my brothers, is that there's a crisis where folks don't know how to transition eloquently from that youthful 20s into the 40s with healthiness. So you being on here, you're like health beacons because you're sharp and you're over 25. Have you noticed the crisis of what I'm speaking of, where the hypocrisy of the culture, when people, they panic when they start getting gray hair, men and women, like, oh no, I can't be old in this youth culture. Oh no. Talk about it, brothers.
Well, one of the things, wars are conducted over a period of hundreds of years, not 5 or 10 years, but over 100 years. And one of the ways to defeat the enemy is to cleave the youths from the elders. The elders have their treasures, the young people have their treasures, but they're interdependent. So if you break the link between the elders and the younger people by those who control, the culture and the subculture of the younger people, especially, yes, then now you can defeat your enemy without shooting one bullet. You see that? So people have to get spiritualized to understand that the challenges that the young people get from the elders and the challenges that the older people get from the youngsters, you can flip it and use it, as material for your spiritual development. You see that? And then to win that war. You see that? So do not allow anybody to divide you as a young person against the elders. First of all, the elders, the young people on the news today, they're saying that more and more young people are finding that they cannot make a living by themselves. You see that more and more. And what do the elders have? They have that house that they bought. They have the experience.
Stability. Yep.
They have that Social Security coming in. And a lot of young people are beginning to realize that they really need to move back in with their parents and grandparents, but then they can't because there are fights and problems, whatever. So use spirituality so that you can move in together, because there are no other choices. You see that? So the problems that are happening that's keeping young and old people apart are surmountable easily through meditation, especially when you meditate at the winter solstice and the winter months, those three months, January, February, March, and kicking it off with what you do 21st of December to 24th midnight. You see that? and get your spiritual skills so that you can live together in harmony and productivity and health. Because especially with AI now coming out, there's going to be more and more unemployed people. Okay,
Facts.
in the arena of who? The young people, because they're the ones that have the jobs that AI is going to displace. You see that. The older people that really they already have their social security that they paid into, and they're going to fight to keep it. And the older people, have their skills and their house paid up, or almost paid up, and young people need to come in and help secure that mortgage and live with their elders and their grandparents. And we have to go back to that traditional African, social framework where everybody lived together. There wasn't, your children, across the nation living in Georgia while you're living over here in New Jersey. You see that? That's
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, this is a fascinating conversation, brother, and I just want to chime in on that. I had some experience in selling water systems, which turned out to be very educational for me. And I had a chance to call on several families from India. And in one occasion, there was the mother was there at the house, and the gentleman said, "Oh, that's my mom. She just moved in with us." And I said, "Oh, okay." And he said, "Well, she still has her own house, but in our culture, my father died, and when one parent dies, the other parent moves into the home with the children, so they won't be lonely."
Bam.
Wow.
Yes,
But when you
sir.
think about the economic impact of that,
And that's a major thing. I mean, some young folks too are actually like what Chris Rock said. You're single, you're lonely. You're married, you're miserable. What you gonna do? You actually see that. But I'm glad you're speaking about this because you're speaking of socially and economically circling the wagons. Because as Kevin Samuel said, winter's coming.
but you need the spiritual skills to do it.
Mm.
So
Excellent.
one person, if you don't mind, I just want to respond. We have sister,
Sure.
looks like Pearl on YouTube, who said, to get the most out of the winter solstice, how should we cleanse ourselves from all the chaos and distraction society tempts us with?
Well, the meditations that you will be doing, the major meditation theme for the winter solstice is establishing and strengthening your union with God. So God has three aspects: omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence. Those are the three major skill set that God has. You see that. On the other hand, man is limited in his. It said, "There's, I don't care how skilled you are, how good a life you live. There comes a point, there comes a time when you encounter a challenge that is way beyond your ability to solve by yourself or to figure out what to do and how to do it, or you might know it but lack the power to make it happen. But if you know how to connect with God, you see that, then God will help you through these things. Okay, and people say, well, if God is within me and I'm within God. But it doesn't happen automatically like that. You have to work at it. You have to earn the ability to benefit from God's omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence. And that is the major theme of the winter solstice.
I think somebody called him on his phone. and cause him to flip off.
Mm-hmm.
TEHUTI, KHAMAU, we got to do this more often because folks are hungry for the Godfather, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was dropping Godfather knowledge up in here tonight.
Hello?
Yeah. Somebody must have phone called you, huh?
No. For some reason, my phone, my computer goes out, and I have to click back in.
Listen, brother King Ra, Shekhem, you a Godfather. You got that Godfather energy, man. And you got a family tribe out here. We need to have you on here more often. You got an open, welcome VIP. How often you want to do it, whether it's once a season, once a month, because ain't that many Godfathers out here, brother.
I hear you. I'm down.
Me too. How about you, TEHUTI?
Yes, sir.
You know it.
This is powerful, man. And I could feel the hunger, as they say down south, of the cheering, listening to you. They're hungry for this. This is
So we have Isaac. He's hungry. He says, speaking from experience, I'm 28 years old, and I feel old because my neck is giving me problems. I'm dying, guys. I had to respond to this. I would like to respond to this because I want you to think about something that I've noticed is that everybody's looking down.
Facts.
And I have grandchildren, and it's a battle to get them off of these devices. But it's like if we went to sleep in the 60s or 70s and woke up today, we would think we're in some kind of fantasy land where people don't talk to each other. Everybody's looking down at their phone, at their device.
Yep.
And as children, we never looked down. We were always looking up, or we looked straight ahead. So I have a good brother who I lost recently, the acupuncture, Chinese medicine, Tuina, and he was saying how he was noticing with his patients, all of these problems with the neck, the back, the shoulders, and so on. And it's because of people's posture, because now we are constantly looking down. So to this brother, I'm glad you brought that up. You're only 28 years old. You're a baby, and you're having neck problems. Unless you've had some kind of injury or, whatever your particular case is, it just brings up something that this professional noticed in his practice. And he predicted, even said to me, man, you or your children, you should go into learn massage, acupuncture, because this is going to be an epidemic, because I'm noticing everybody. And you can see them. You can see people on the street where their postures actually change. They now look like old people that are hunched over because they're constantly in this kind of a position.
You're right. I have to get up sometime from working on jewelry and snap around the neck and roll it around and do a little qigong, do a little, yamvalu, move that spine some, and then I see in the streets and on the subways, everybody got their neck dropped, just like you said, Brother TEHUTI.
It reminds me of a time, Shekhem, when you taught us about the different rates of breathing. And as a young priest, we learned how to monitor our breaths per minute and understand the relationship between the breaths per minute and the brainwave state, cyclical states that you were in. And I remember coming home from that class, and I'll never forget it. I was looking at people on the subway and counting their breaths. And I was like, wow, people have no idea. Nobody even knows that that's something that you can control and you can cultivate, but that you're automatically breathing at a certain rate that keeps you in a vulnerable vibration. So yeah, I think we're having a good conversation.
Yeah, this is tight, man. We could roll on into the night with this, but we won't be greedy for the needy tonight. You got an open VIP invitation to come back monthly or seasonally, because folks is loving his Godfather Ra and TEHUTI KHAMAU energy with Uncle Henky. This is popping, man. This is popping. You got a stacked house of folks listening to y'all. I want to thank you again for dropping it like it's hot. I think that's how they say it, right? Any closing words?
Well, for me, to that brother, I would suggest you get into some qigong and hatha yoga to straighten yourself out. Or if you need help, you want to get some good acupuncture or tuina treatment.
Well, in closing, I'd like to thank you very much for the opportunity to share my thoughts and my experiences with you and your audience. And I just want to close with the urgency of the time. The winter solstice is upon us, and not meditating with the proper instructions during the winter solstice is tantamount to not sleeping at night and getting up the next day to go to work, without being rested and prepared for the work of the next day, to come. You will not do that. You make sure you get your night's sleep to rejuvenate, to repair your body for the next day. And you must do the same thing, rejuvenate and repair your mind, your brain, your psyche during the winter solstice for a good year next year. So I will you all a Hotep year. Peace and blessings to all of you.
Thank you. It was an honor having both of you on tonight, and we're going to do this again. This was awesome.
Very much so.
Peace. Hotep.